Hi everyone and welcome back to Gina C Creates. Today in this video I am going to show you how to hook up the air assist attachment to your X-Tool M1 laser machine. And let me tell you, when I opened the box I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, what did I get myself into? This looks way harder than I thought it was going to be. But in my video I'm going to show you everything you need to know so it can be an easy process, and it definitely is not as hard as it looks. So let's get started on how to use the air assist with your X-Tool M1 machine. So everything did come nicely packaged in this box. On top you'll find the owner's manual and steps on how to hook it up. There is a lot of pictures and not a lot of text, so just keep that in mind. And you have 3 of these long clamps and then 1 small one. And then we also got a pair of tweezers. Next we have the nozzle holder. And then we have the air pump connector with the silicone part. And then this one is the nozzle. We have a screwdriver with the extra parts. And then we have the clamp for the nozzle. And then we have the power cord. And then we have the tubing for the air pump with the connector. And then we have the air pump itself. So now I'm going to show you how to hook this up to your machine. Make sure everything is unplugged and disconnected, and then we are going to open up the lid, and we are going to use the screwdriver to unscrew the 5 screws at the bottom. So there's 1 on the side and 3 along the bottom. And there was only 1 screw that gave me a problem. It just wouldn't come up, so I had to find my own flathead. And that seemed to work to get the last screw up. Then we're just going to pull out the bottom plate and put it to the side. And then we're going to close the lid to the machine and flip it upside down. So now you can work with the laser. So we're just going to grab the module and pull it to the center. Make sure you take out your blade before handling it. And then we're going to use the screwdriver again and take off these 2 screws on the side, and that lifts off the bracket. And now you take your tweezers and you put it in the hole and you twist it off to expose the lens. And we're going to replace that with the lens mount, and those are actually 2 of them stuck together. They are magnetic. So you're just going to want to use one and twist it till it is very tight and parallel to the front of the module. And you're going to want to make sure before you put it in that your lens is flat and not tilted. And next you're going to take that nozzle and you're going to put the black tube into the hole. And then you're going to set the nozzle right onto the lens mount that you just put in. And it's magnetic. There's no twisting. It just snaps right on. And when you put the black tubing in, you're going to make sure you want to start with the side that has the white tape. That is the one that's connected into the nozzle component. And the nozzle tube should be going towards the back of your machine. So now you can flip it back over, and we are going to just get that tubing to the center. So you're going to pull it through. And now we are going to put on the tube clamps that are going to hold your black tube. So I really didn't know what these were for. They go on the left side. So I just set them aside because I didn't see a use for them, because you're mainly using these 2 long clamps, and you want to make sure that the round sides are facing up. And you're just going to take off the tape strip and you're going to stick it to the right hand side of your machine. I went a little bit too close to this edge, so you just want to make sure you leave like a finger width so where your tube could fit through. Next, we're going to take the small short tube clamp that goes on the side of the module, and there are holes that you can line up, and then you just press down and stick it to your module. And then this is where that white tape on the tube comes in handy, because that tape should sit at the very top of your clamp. So you're just going to put it in like this and let it rest right there. So you can see this picture is showing you that step. So just pay attention to that, because that will give you the right amount of slack to put them in the clamps. So that other white tape will line up to the first clamp on the top. And then you just make sure you can move the module to all 4 corners like I'm doing now, and it not getting snagged on anything. So you just want to make sure your laser, when it's in working mode, that it's able to reach all 4 corners. And then you could just get the excess slack and put it down to the bottom right corner. And then you can put your metal plate back in, making sure your tubing goes through that hole. And so there is a little lip in the back, so you want to make sure your metal plate is inside the lip, and then line up your holes, and you could put your screws back in to your machine. And then next we're going to take the end of our tubing and connect it to the air pump. But before I do that, these extra little parts that I took off, I am going to store in this little storing case that they gave me. It has 2 extra lenses and some rubber bands. So I'm just going to store it in there with those so I don't lose this if I ever want to just take off the air pump. And also you have an extra nozzle and some extra filters. And then you want to make sure you store the 2 screws and the cover to your lens. And then next we're going to take the air pump connector, and we are going to put the silicone on one end, and then the silicone will connect directly to the machine. So you can see right here is where it goes on the side. And then we're going to just put the black tubing into the connector. And you just push it in until you can feel it stop. And then you can even push down that blue thing, and I believe it locks it that way. And then this is where you turn it off and on. You have the off, and then it goes to low to high. So I actually found out what these are for. I went to the way back of the manual, and it is for storing your air pump when it is not in use. So you just want to make sure you put these onto your machine so you have your air pump nozzles somewhere to sit when it's not in use. So make sure you take out your blade before handling, and then I just removed the nozzle because remember it is magnetic, and then it just sits in these clamps when it's not in use or if you're using the blade. And I did mess up by putting the nozzle holder too close to the edge. So a good thing to do is to put the tubing in first and then put the nozzle in the holder and see where it lines up and then push down. And then now when you do want to use the air assist, you can take it out of the holder and then you can just clamp it back onto your lens mount. So you just want to make sure that tubing is facing the back of your machine and let it clamp on, and put the rest of the slack into the clamp on the side of the module. And you can see it still reaches all 4 corners. And then we could put our blade back into our module. And next we are just going to reconnect our machine and set it up to see how this air assist works. And if you need any help with the M1 on setting it up and how it works, please watch my review video, and I show you complete instructions on how to cut something out. And I cut this out earlier, and you can see that there is some scorching without the air assist. And so now I am just going to cut out another piece and make sure that the air assist is turned on. And I did turn on the machine before I turned on the air assist. So there was a little bit scorching at the very tip of the pumpkin. But the rest of the machine cut out perfect, and I don't see any scorching on this pattern. So you can see this is how it turned out without the air assist. And this is where I turned it on a little late and the scorching was already starting. So you can see the difference with the air assist. And I also wanted to point out on the back, there was some scorching, and I believe this is because I was using the rectangular prisms. And wherever the rectangular prisms sat, let me show you in the creative space, that is where the scorching was on the back. So I believe these metal prisms got too hot and caused it to burn on the back. So I think the Air Assist needs the honeycomb riser instead of the triangular prisms if you don't want that scorching on the back as well. So here's the difference in the Air Assist with and without. And I'm happy with the results. Like if you want a professional look and like you bought these at the store, then the Air Assist is the way to go. I hope you guys found this video helpful on how to use the Air Assist with your X-Tool M1 machine. If you love this project right here, make sure you head over to ginacreates.com so you can download the free SVG file. I will have that video linked in the description below.